Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about Lossless, but before we get into that, I just got to say, if you like crypto content, like and subscribe to this channel so you can get updates in the future about more things that we're going to be talking about. Now, before I get into it, I just got to say this isn't financial advice, it's strictly an opinion, and you should be able to enjoy the topic of this video, Lossless. Lossless. This is a token that it's still relatively new, pretty fresh, and it had a pretty big run as of today. It basically took off. It did about 100%, but it's still got potentially quite a lot of room to grow. And I'm going to be talking to you why it does. You look at the market cap, it's only about 28 million roughly. The volume is at about 20 million, which is quite a lot of volume compared to the market cap. And you can see the circulating supply is about 22 million lossless. Now you can see it's got a low supply, a very small market cap, and I'm about to get into why the use case could be extremely interesting. Now, what is Lossless? It's the first DeFi hack mitigation tool for token creators. Now, that's pretty big considering that most of what people fear is hacks. It's the first DeFi hack mitigation tool for creators. And for the most part, DeFi, as beautiful as it is, it's been coming to a lot of people's attentions that it's very vulnerable to hacking. And that's why I could see the use case for this being pretty big. So the whole idea is that the code detects fraud. It causes a freeze in the actual movement of the money. Then it does a fraud analysis, which, is overviewed by the company, and it validates and it makes a decision whether to freeze the receipt, address permanently. Meaning that if it's decided that it is fraud, what they're going to do is they're going to basically reverse the stolen funds and then freeze the account that tried to hack it. So that's a pretty good idea for a coin, and especially for what it could do, considering that most DeFi lending pools are getting hacked. And if you go and look down at the partners, they have Magnus Capital on board, they have DAOmaker, and a few other things as well. But Magnus Capital is probably I would say the biggest one that I recognize here. And you could see that there's clearly a use case for that, because in general, DeFi is constantly growing and it's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But the problem is that most DeFi/staking pools are usually vulnerable to hacking and exploits. And with more big banks joining in, it's only a matter of time that these DeFi pools are going to grow to a point where, there's going to be larger amounts of money. And when there's larger amounts of money in things, that becomes like a honeypot. And that honeypot is subject to, like I said, potential hacks. So it's like it goes over the types of exploits like wallet hacks, exchange hacks, token minting, intentional rug pulls. All these things could end up reversed based off of this. You go down, and they're even talking about creating a lossless ERC standard, which would make it so that way it's like ERC interface with, or an ERC interface versus like a lossless implementation on the ERC interface. So it's just allowing for more trust. And even here, it even shows you a little graph of how much total value has been locked in DeFi lending pools over the course of, let's say, a year. And it's pretty impressive how much it's actually grown. And there's clearly going to be more and more of a need for that as it grows, basically. Now, as things grow, you need those vulnerabilities taken care of. Now, you see here, it also has a partnership with LaunchX to promote DeFi security, right? So this is just one of probably many partnerships to come, simply because now they're being shown like, okay, there's a possibility that this could be used for this platform. If it works on this platform, then there's no reason why it won't be integrated into other platforms. Now, you know, like that's definitely something to consider, even though like it's not like LaunchX isn't a small platform, but it's not a big one like Binance yet. But like it's something. It's the beginning of an integration of a new project. Now, even here, it was a while ago Cream Finance got hacked, and Lossless helped them recover $16.7 million worth of stolen funds. So it's already technically worked in practice now. So that means because it worked, there's more and more chances that it'll catch a bigger contract. Now, I could definitely see this being more and more valuable, considering that over $200 million was lost in crypto fraud just in the UK in 2020. So that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that could be, you know, returned to its owners. And that right there just shows that if 200 million was lost just in the UK in 2020, imagine how much was lost globally on crypto markets in general over the course of 2020 and 2021. You know, we're probably peaked at about $1 billion to $2 billion, roughly in that ballpark, over the course of the last 2 years that's being hacked and taken out. And now, you know, they're definitely seeking a way to stop that and make it less of an issue in the future for DeFi protocols. And even proof of staking. The reason why proof of staking is not considered safe is because, unlike proof of work, the network always grows, whereas a POS network doesn't. So it's like Bitcoin's security is based on how much it grows and how much difficulty there is, whereas Ethereum's network is basically, if it moves to a proof of stake, it's going to be based off of how much money is locked inside of it. So it's two different ways of running a network. And they've already talked about how POS networks are more likely to be hacked and unraveled because of that. And I think that something like Lossless is going to be big in the future, simply because if they could integrate it into ETH 2.0 and all these staking pools, so that way they'll be, let's say, hack resistant, that's definitely reason for more market share to fly into this project. And we'll go back here and look at, you know, the market cap at 28 million and the circulating supply of 22 million with a max supply hard capped at 100 million. So you got to ask yourself, how much market cap can you see something like this when it gets, like, how much market cap could it receive when it gets integrated on something larger, you know? So it just goes to show how young this project is, because, I mean, it's barely even done a year. You know, like, you look at the timeline here, and it's still very new. It launched basically just a little bit, like, I would say around April, no, around February, no, just after February. So, yeah, so just after February. So it's a very new project, hasn't even hit the year mark, and as you can see, it's hit a lot of growth. It's like a spike right here. And that spike just shows that it could be the continuation of something larger over time as it locks down more contracts. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this kind of content, once again, like, comment, and subscribe, and check out future videos. Take care.